If you own a 1 to 4 family building in New York City and you're thinking of selling in 2026, you're likely hearing opposing opinions right now. Some people say it's a great time to sell, others say it's a great time to wait. The truth is, that is almost entirely on what you own and where you own it. Here's what the data actually says. First off, it's important to understand what you own currently. Condos and co-ops are a totally different market. People that have a 1 or 2 or even 3 or 4 family building are not competing against people that own or want to buy an apartment. So that's important to understand that. You need to know who it is that you're trying to identify if you're thinking of selling your property. Now, if you own a 2-family building, you're likely looking at an owner-occupant with a rental or a small investor. So be clear, in this video, we're talking about single and multi-families. We are not talking about apartments. It's important to understand that in 2026, the 1 to 4 family properties throughout the boroughs is still very tight. There's not enough inventory for the people that are actually able to buy. I know that might sound surprising because prices seem to be high, but the truth is in New York City, real estate always appreciates, and that is the reason why people are always looking to buy. Another thing to understand is that interest rates have stayed in the same realm for the last 3 to 5 years. So because of that, people have already gotten used to this interest rate environment. We've long gone past the days where people are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to go to a level that they likely never will. So that just means that people are ready to buy, especially in the spring and summer market. The reason 2 to 4 family buildings are so appealing is, if you've noticed, rents have continued to skyrocket. So because of that, if someone buys a 2 or 4 family building, they're expecting they're gonna get really good rent and it's going to drop their mortgage expense per month dramatically. Another thing that's important to understand is that the cash buyer percentage has dramatically increased. That means if you're selling, you have people that are willing to buy cash, which means quicker closings and fewer contingencies. So if you own a multi-family building, what buyers love to see is organization and consistent payment. If you have tenants, a clear rent roll, that rent is being paid consistently at the set amount. Having your books in order can make you have a much easier and a higher sale than you expect. Now, whether you own a single family or multi-family, upkeep and maintenance of your property is crucial when it comes to selling. That means your boiler being serviced. That means your utilities being updated within the last 5 to 10 years. These are things that matter tremendously and either help you sell your property or help you sell someone else's. What's important to understand about multifamily buildings, sometimes we have rent stabilization in place. If a tenant is paying well under market value, it's important to know that if you can't replace that tenant because there's leases in place, then your value of your building will likely become a little bit lower if you have a tenant that's paying well under what the area is going for that size apartment. Let's talk about single families really quick. Now, this is where a lot of clients of ours we see sometimes go wrong in the duration of owning their property. You never want to over-renovate. If you know that this is not your forever home, having it nice is one thing, but doing very elaborate, expensive upgrades that are very particular to your sense of style could be a hindrance when it's time to sell, especially if you're expecting getting that investment back when you sell your property. Let's talk about timing of selling. We get asked this all the time. When is the right time to sell? The truth is, there is no right time to sell in New York City. All timing is dependent on you, your life, and your circumstances. There's always someone looking to buy. Now, what's important to understand, however, is what is the goal that you have? Where would you like to be and how quick would you like to be there? In this market, it's important that you be priced correctly from the very beginning. Think about it. If you are buying a house and you go and you see the home has been sitting for 60, 90, 120 days, What do you assume? You don't want someone assuming the same thing for your property. So shooting for the stars in your price is very rarely the right approach. Knowing what the market is willing to pay for your home and being in that area and range is what's gonna fare best. You want a bidding war. You want multiple people interested in your property so that you can get the absolute most. Something we see happen too often is when you become an accidental landlord. That means you bought the building, there was already tenants in it, the tenants ended up not paying you or they were never paying, and now you have to assess, is it better for me to carry and keep the building and be losing X amount, or is it better for me to sell and cash out to see the most that I could get in its present state and condition? These are things that we help you figure out so that you can see what's best, because the last thing we want is for your property, your real estate in New York City to really be burning a hole in your pocket rather than helping you create and build wealth. Let's touch on estate sales really quickly. A lot of multifamily buildings come to the market via an estate sale. That means somebody maybe passed away and the people who inherited the building are now selling the property. It's very important that you get your documentation, your legal matters in order. We do a very good job of making sure that our clients know what rights they have and what they don't to be able to ensure a successful sale if that's ultimately what they're looking to do. Something we recommend to a lot of our clients that are gonna sell one building to be able to buy another, even if it's across state lines, is a 1031 exchange. A 1031 exchange is a great investment tool because what it allows you to do is any appreciation you've gained over the years of owning your building, you actually can defer the taxes that you'd have to pay because you're taking the proceeds of that money and putting into another piece of real estate. Even if it's a portion of it and you intend to keep some of it, you will still be able to defer those taxes. So a 1031 exchange is a very useful tool that a lot of investors, and sometimes people that are not investors but just want to save on taxes, utilize. Let's touch on something that is super important, whether you own a 1, 2, 3, or 4 family building. We see this all the time. People that own a property or a building and not sure about how many legal units they have in the building. Sometimes we see a single family that the owner thinks is a 2-family, or a 3-family that's really in reality a 2-family building. See, the Department of Buildings has a certificate of occupancy for your building. What that C of O says is ultimately what your building was constructed to be able to house. And it will go based on that, especially when you're selling the building. They're going to verify the C of O, and the way it states on the C of O is how you can sell your property. You can imagine what this can cause in conflict or value of your building, where you think you might be selling a 2-family building and really it's a single family property. You just happen to have 2 kitchens in it. So these are things that are very important for you to know. Your local Department of Building can provide that usually to you via their online website. We can also help you out. Just let us know. On that same matter, it's important that you understand this because you need to price your building accordingly. You don't want to sell your building for thinking you have a legal 2-family, selling it at the price of a 3-family in that same neighborhood. You likely won't get it, or vice versa. So it's important to understand this, and that is part of what it is that we do here at Rehub, is do the due diligence necessary so that whatever it is that you do own, we sell it for the absolute most possible. So if you want an honest read on what you own and what it's worth, and what's the best process for you to get to a successful closing for the absolute most money possible, there's a link in the description. We'd love to advise you further. My name is Emilio Estevez with the Rehub team, and we appreciate you joining us.